Now, one of the more major pieces to your delivery that I do see is coming in the second piece within the initial move. We can do mechanical comps to DeGrom all day to realize that he gets a lot of forward momentum shifting in his initial move. Now, the way I would explain it to you, and I'll do a good amount of context on this in the report, is basically within the throw itself, right? Within pitching, 3 major energy sources that we really want to attack. Ground force production within the drive leg loading phase, right? So descending from peak leg lift, absorbing, producing, storing in the drive leg. That's 1. 2 is going to be your acceleration. We're the only overhead athletes that are allowed to throw on a slope, and we want to allow the slope and the amount and the amplification of gravity to propel us into a greater state of acceleration. So that's an energy source to be utilized. Now, not everyone's going to want to move at a greater rate of acceleration due to potential instability issues. The higher the force, the more required stability that there is. So sometimes the brain, again, being super smart and adjustable and adaptable, it's going to limit the acceleration rate. You being 19, I would say a lot of these things that could border, whether it be an instability issue or a movement issue itself, right? Like the way your body just moves and expresses movement, I would assume it would be the latter. We just want to make sure that we're adjusting our movements and our delivery to best suit what our body is best capable to do. That's why I do a lot of like accelerators and drivers, bigger guys, less fast twitch muscle fibers. Let's go ahead and put more force into the ground, you know, not rely so much upon that acceleration. Quicker guys, fast twitch guys, Sonny Grays of the world, Strowmans, DeGrom, I would emphasize more of the acceleration piece, because when smaller guys try to put a lot of force in the ground, probably not going to get a whole lot out of that anyway, so you can manipulate that with the forward move. But within your initial move, I would encourage, very similar to what DeGrom does, what we just talked about, getting more momentum going forward, right? And I'll include a ton of stuff on this in the report so you can really get an idea for why I encourage a lot of forward momentum. But basically what we're going to be wanting to do is express energy towards our desired target. And now to do that without getting completely out of your drive leg, and it makes sense why you said the issues that you have been told is the drive leg collapse. So it makes sense you thinking that, or you being told that. You're going to really rely heavily on your positioning, your alignment to truly optimize that load. Now, I don't see a drive leg collapse issue whatsoever. That to me is exceptional drive leg, but you can see as you lift, right? That's not a straight line, but draw a line in front. You don't cross that line until the descending move of your lift. So now what's happening is your acceleration energy production down the slope is only coming from your drive phase, instead of adding momentum in your lift to then catch that momentum to turn it into acceleration, to then amplify acceleration energy as we come down, as we utilize the slope. And then boom, when we do block, now we're going to be able to receive, well, block first and then receive potential higher rates of energy, or just higher force, right? So those are the 2 things so far. Setup, initial move, bada bing, bada boom. Like I said, your drive leg to me looks pretty good. It just looks like a lot of your forward acceleration is coming from your drive leg. And when we can amplify that by just essentially capturing that a little bit better, and you'll see progressions on that in the report. So that's the initial move. Again, when we look at the initial move, like it really does set us up for success throughout the whole delivery, dude. So that's why I'm going to program a lot of stuff in the initial move for you in the report, just because I would like to see, I would like to just kind of play around with the setup positioning. B, I'd like to play around with a little bit higher tempo. And you talked about long arm and glove side fly out in your PDF. Remember, the long arm issue, or the arm action, the path in which the hand travels, isn't necessarily a bad or good thing. We just want to match the rate of the body's acceleration. So if you're going to want to accelerate greater, use a little bit more acceleration energy, then what's going to naturally happen is the path in which your hand takes is going to simplify. Because right now, due to the lack of forward momentum in that initial move, the path of the hand can travel as far as it wants, because we know that the task and essentially the goal is to create rotational energy, essentially anchor down when our hand is up. And that's really, when it comes to arm action mechanics, like the simplistic but yet overarching goal comes down to just the positioning of the hand, elbow, I call it the triangle, inside 90 to best leverage, to best capture that rotational energy, to best capture that segmentation aspect of segmenting our rotations, right? DeGrom, the tempo, right? Like the momentum, right? The rhythmic movements, the leg lift, allowing him to shift his body forward prior reaching peak leg lift. So I talk about capturing a lot. This allows us to create a little bit of acceleration, a little bit of momentum. We capture that. Like he looks like he's falling, right? Falling's great. You're gonna now stabilize as you capture the acceleration. You're gonna load your drive leg. This is where I would see the difference in terms of the glove side, right? So his glove side counter rotates and keeps his torso locked in, more neutral, maybe a little bit more counter rotation. Whereas you go more Garrett Cole and take a linear glove side angle. Well, that linear glove side angle, like I said, is going to then pull early because of just the way that time works, right? Like you can't physically hold while moving. So as movements occur, as the throwing arm wants to move through space, the glove side is going to want to match that. So when the elbows essentially go in flexion, they're going to want to match that as well. So I would encourage you, maybe even like this is just a mechanical component you can play around with, is glove side extending a little out to allow that torso positioning to be a little bit more optimal. But if that's the way you want to move, that's the way you want to move. We just want to increase the stability. Like I said, counterbalance stuff, overloading front side to amplify the stability. That stuff works too, right? So now we can look at the glove side, and then we can look at how that glove side is going to aid in the stretch for DeGrom, right? And this is actually a component that I would say was a little bit altered this year for him in Texas when he obviously went down with the elbow. It looked to me, I don't think I have any breakdowns that I've done on it, but it looked to me that he was restricting his glove side and the amount of extension he was getting, which then led to a little bit more of a pushy arm. Now, this is anchor point, and you can see that your left tit is already wanting to rotate, right? So you're prematurely rotating your torso due to what I would perceive as the glove side going. Whereas his glove side and glove side shoulder is locked in. His torso is locked in, his hips into rotation. And then that's what I said earlier with biggest difference, man. Elbow retraction at anchor point. Horizontal shoulder abduction at anchor point, right? And then you can see as he then anchors down, he's going to then go get it, dude. Pull the arm, pull the trunk, and flex the trunk. All this allows for a greater rate of acceleration of the arm and deceleration rate. Also, you're going to see the linear line of hip extension.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Robby Rowe here. If you are interested in learning more about pitch mechanics, I put together an ebook. I'll provide a link right here for you to click to check it out. Everything I know about pitch mechanics, I put it down on an electronic book. #2023.